The X-Zone Radio Show with Rob McConnell is largely an opinion talk show. All opinions, comments, or statements of fact expressed by Rob McConnell's guests are strictly their own and are not to be construed as those of the X-Zone Radio Show or endorsed in any manner by Rob McConnell, Relmar McConnell Media Company, the X-Zone Broadcast Network, its affiliated networks, stations, employees, or advertisers.
All Hit Radio.
Welcome to the X Zone, a place where fact is fiction and fiction is reality. Now, here's your host, Rob McConnell.
And welcome to the X-Zone, everyone. My name is Rob McConnell. We're coming to you live and around the world from our broadcast center in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada, on the X-Zone Broadcast Network at www.xzbn, on the IPBN radio network, and TalkStreamLive.com. If you'd like to send me an email, xzone@xzoneradiotv.com, on all social media sites, X-Zone Radio TV, and our radio website at xzoneradio.com. The X-Zone is a place where people dare to believe and dare to be heard. It's a place where fact is fiction and fiction is reality. And we come to you Monday through Friday, live from 11 p.m. until 2 p.m. Eastern. And then we have the best of from 2 a.m. until 6 p.m., except tonight. Or tomorrow morning, I should say. From 2 o'clock until 4 o'clock, we will be playing radio interviews that we've been able to dig up from various broadcast source archives, including the first radio interview with Kenneth Arnold after his sighting going back to June 25th, 1947. We will also be playing one of the very first radio broadcasts, news broadcasts, of the Roswell crash or the Roswell incident, going back to July 7, 1947, or July 8th, 1947. All this and more tonight on the X-Zone. Our first guest tonight is a good friend. Dan VALKOS is his name, and Dan has been involved in the paranormal since 1969 and was the director of the Paranormal Enlightenment Centre for 7 years, as well as the chief investigator for the Association of Psychic Investigative Researchers. He has appeared on over 1,500 radio shows and has lectured or performed at over 1,200 colleges. He is teaching or has taught psychic development and reincarnation workshops for over 22 colleges and has one of the better online courses on psychic development out there. He was giving the title of Canada's Psychotic Psychic by yours truly many years ago, and he is also ranked as the #2 psychic in Canada. His website, www.danvalkospsychic.com. And Dan, welcome back to the X-Zone, and I'm truly sorry to hear about your knees and your shoulder, my friend. I know how painful that can be, and my thoughts and prayers are with you.
Well, actually, just listening to you read off my qualifications, I just realized how darn impressive I am, so none of that other stuff matters.
So what's new in the world of Psychic Dan VALKOS?
Besides the fact that for the last 6 weeks I've been driving my wife stark raving nuts, I just had my left knee replaced on June 15th, and they won't let me start driving again till August 5th, so she's been having to be my chauffeur, and she's not too happy about it, but that's okay, because living with me has got to be a treasure and a treat in itself.
Yeah, I know that, Dan, and I think that this time that you're driving her crazy is getting her back for all the years that she drove you crazy.
No, she would never do anything of that nature. I'm just the sweetest person, and so is she. We had the perfect relationship. All right, let's see. What's going on here? I'm on the board of directors for the Canadian Organization of Campus Activities now. I've got a bunch of college lectures coming up in the fall. I'm going to be doing some radio in Belleville. I'm going to be doing some stuff in Peterborough. I'm just all over the place. I'm busy. I'm busy.
Well, that's good.
Yes, and I was so glad when you decided to say, hey, Dan, you want to do a show again? I mean, you and I go back, 26, 27 years doing radio or something together?
At least, since, the show celebrated its 25th anniversary this year, and you were one of the very first guests way back when.
Yeah, so I mean, we have a long history together, and I did give you the credit for giving me the title as Canada's Psychotic Psychic, and I think you updated it to the world's Psychotic Psychic or something.
But however, Dan, like a good bottle of Merlot wine, you have mellowed with age. You have...
Don't tell anybody that.
Oh, okay, so we'll just erase that from the tape, but unfortunately it just went out live, so we can't do that.
Minor detail.
Yeah, minor detail. Hey, Dan, you and I have to take a short break. We'll be back in 2 minutes. X-Zone Nation, my guest this hour is Dan VALKOS, www.danvalkospsychic.com, and we'll both be back as we continue here in the X-Zone, investigating the world of the paranormal and the science of parapsychology from our broadcast center in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. Whatever you do, don't go away. Dan and I return.
In his new book, Wandering About, author David Strumfeld talks about the universe, existence, civilization, and the nature of mankind. Wandering About is a comprehensive guide that discusses man's everlasting struggle to learn what his place in the universe is and what the true purpose of his existence is all about. By dealing with many forms of science and humanity, Wandering About also serves as an intellectual autobiography, an expedition through author David Strumfeld's mind and his life as a human being. Through the reader's views, readers will learn many relevant things such as the development of civilization through the ages, how science helped mankind to make many crucial discoveries about the universe, why people's curiosity and imagination never get satisfied, and much more. Wandering About promises to push the reader's reasons and thinking to the very edge. To order Wandering About by David Strumfeld, go to www.wanderingabout.net. That's www.wanderingabout.net.
Wouldn't you love to know the secret to everything? Well then, meet Dr. Kimberly McGeorge and her cutting-edge breakthrough knowledge that combines science with possibility. Dr. Kimberly brings real-life answers and healing to those open to alternative solutions. She teaches solution-based programs and classes that will change all areas of your life forever. Specializing in conscious creation, intuitive readings, and energy medicine, you can rapidly shift health, relationships, business, and money and abundance challenges quickly. Receive her best-selling book, Secret to Everything, at no cost by going to secrettoeverything.com/X-Zone. That's right. Transformation can start now. Just go to secrettoeverything.com/X-Zone and receive Dr. Kimberly's book for free.
You're listening to the X-Zone Broadcast Network, www.xzbn.net. Radio's authority on the world of the paranormal and the science of parapsychology, celebrating 25 years of broadcasting. Broadcasting around the world and to the great beyond.
X-Zone Nation, Dan VALKOS is our special guest this hour. His website is danvalkospsychic.com. Dan, are you still giving courses in college on psychic development?
St. Clair in Windsor, Ontario. I'm also teaching at Conestoga in Kitchener, Ontario. And I think I'm teaching down in your neck of the woods at Niagara College.
Have you seen a change in the questions that you're being asked when you do psychic readings for people, or a change in the type of person that is taking the psychic development courses that you give?
Well, the biggest change as far as readings are concerned, no. Basically because people still want to know what's important to them in their personal lives. Family, financial situation, career, etc. That's always paramount. In the workshops, the interesting thing that's been developing is I've been getting more males coming in and more individuals who are not the following blindly as a sheep, but more individuals who are saying, hey, there might be something here, there might be something that might help me actually benefit myself. I was thinking as I was listening to some of your sponsors there, you got some real interesting, positive individuals that are affiliated with your organization.
Yeah, I believe that we need to bring as much positivity into the show as we can, Dan, because outside of this show there is so much negativity. In fact, Lord, we left a network because they had one of the most obnoxious, negative segments on their show, and it was just counterproductive from what we were doing.
Yeah, and you don't want to associate yourself with negativity because that actually drags you down. Because it's just a positive program. You're very positive. Oh God, it's going to sound like I'm going to be nice to you, so it's going to be painful for me.
Oh my God! Hold on here. I've got to get a Kleenex. Okay, hold on.
Get a Kleenex.
Got it. Okay.
You're an honorable and ethical individual. I've known you for a long time. You're a man of your word. You're a man of principle, and you're a fairly decent human being. And just being associated with you actually makes me a better individual.
Wow.
God, that hurt. How did that hurt? Oh, yeah. Lord. The thing beneath my ribs actually started to beat.
Yeah, I heard that. I heard that.
Yeah, so what do you want to talk about tonight, son?
I want to talk about how we can best make ourselves or train ourselves or put ourselves into a positive frame of mind when dealing with the negativity that we have going on in the world today. We have ISIS, we have terrorist attacks in Europe, we have police shootings in the United States, we have what's going on in China, North Korea flexing its military might. There's a lot of negativity, and how do people who want to improve the world, improve the situation that they're in, do that with so much negativity around them? How can we block the negativity?
You can't really block the negativity, but you can counter it. You got to realize that no matter how deep the darkness is, even the tiniest of candles can dispel it. When you don't really want to try to improve the entire world.
Gremlins.
What was that?
Gremlins.
Oh, there. I'll deal with them turkeys later. Now listen, you ugly little rats. Don't get on my bad son. I swear to God, I'll roast you over a slow fire and we'll feed you to my neighbor's cat. Okay. Now, what was he talking about? Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You make your own little world a little better place. You start out, each morning with some little positive affirmations. One of them I've got on my website is the light of God surrounds me. The love of God enfolds me. The power of God protects and heals me. The presence of God watches over me. God's infinite bankroll finances me for wherever I am. God is. You start out by you put something like that out in the universe in a positive day. We all add little things. Where one person might put out, for lack of a better phrase, 10 units of negativity, 1 unit of positive energy can counter 10 units of negativity. A smile, a greeting to a total stranger.
Yeah.
Not taking everything out of the guy's wallet when you're robbing him. Leaving him enough, money for cab fare or something like that. You do these little things that you can do.
Now that's what a decent thief would do.
Yeah.
My question to you is: would Hillary Clinton do that?
She wouldn't bother with the wallet.
That's true.
She wouldn't bother. That nothing petty of that nature. She'd just say, vote for me.
That's right.
This is going to be an interesting election. I cannot wait to see the first debate between them two. I can almost visualize the first debate when she looks at Donald Trump and says, call me Crooked Hillary to my face. I dare you.
And he will.
And Poodoo's going to fly, let me tell you. I am so looking forward to that. You have to admit that this election cycle has not been a dull and boring election cycle. I mean, we're here in Canada. We got Trudeau. I mean, what was the most controversial thing about our new prime minister? He has nice hair. That's what the rest of the world talked about, which is, it just adds to the persona that we Canadians are basically pretty cool and laid back.
Well, we asked a couple of people what they thought of Prime Minister Trudeau on the streets of Hamilton today, and this is what they said. And when we further asked them what we should do with Prime Minister Trudeau, they replied,
Are you implying that he is worse than Harper?
Yep.
Really?
Yeah.
That's interesting. Interesting.
Yeah, watching the American political system and then, being part of the Canadian, it's kind of boring.
Oh, God, we are so boring.
Yeah.
I mean, we're the dullest and most boring. Hey, when I ran for Parliament in the 2000 federal election, that'll tell you how boring it was. I knew I was going to get thumped, but I had a ride in the debates because I figured I could say whatever I wanted. It was fun. It was fun.
Why don't you run again, Dan?
Oh, God, no, I don't want to. I can't take the time off because you can't do anything television. You can't do anything media.
Yeah.
And I'm just getting too old for it. I don't want to do it anymore. But you have to admit, if I got elected, it would definitely make it interesting for this week in Parliament.
Oh, yeah, sure. You would just walk in and take a look at the House of Commons and say, I know what you're going to say, forget it. I know what you're going to say, forget it. I know how that's going to work. Yes, I know how that's going to work.
I know what you did last evening.
Exactly. And I, would you actually bring Charles Duffy out of the Senate and make him your assistant?
No. No. I still remember the comment he made about Sheila Copps like 35 years ago that I was surprised didn't get him beat up.
What was the comment?
He said something about her not really belonging in politics, and he said something to the effect of, pour me another tequila, Sheila, lie down and love me again.
Oh, my God. And, of course, she was the deputy prime minister.
Yeah.
And, she comes from a political family. In fact, here in Hamilton, Copps Coliseum was named after her dad.
Yeah. I mean, can you imagine somebody trying to get away with that in the American political system? Well, Trump might do it now. Yeah. But, you're right. We've got a rather boring political system. But it's nowhere near as... We don't have to worry about Mr. Trudeau launching the nuclear missiles.
That's true. We leave that up to the Americans.
That's right, indeed. And
you know your country. Yeah, exactly.
Cover, boys and girls. Yes.
It's a boring country when you only have one terrorist attack.
Yeah, and it's still one too many.
Exactly.
That's still one too many.
Yeah.
That's still one too many. It's a growing situation for the planet. You see all this darkness. You see all this stuff happening. And you're realizing the underlying thing is not religious fervor; it's greed. It's greed and it's power. I mean, they're hiding under the guise of religion. I'm talking about ISIS or ISIL. They're hiding under the guise of religion or promoting a specific ideological way of life, but they're just going after money. They're just going after power.
I can't understand them wanting to get the American military boots on the ground in Syria. Like, how stupid are they?
No, that's not going to happen. Well, we shall see. This is going to be an interesting year. It definitely is going to be an interesting year. I'm sitting on my little farm in central Ontario, and the biggest thing I got to worry about is whether or not the rabbits are going to eat some of the stuff in my garden.
Speaking about eating, are you still doing your cookbook?
Yeah. I've got recipes that I don't no longer have them on my website, but I've got them stashed in a file because I do have the world's greatest chicken soup, and I do have one of the top meatloaf recipes in the world. Though we're adding to it, we've updated it and we've upgraded it. Great talk for a psychic show, right? We're talking about meatloaf recipes.
Well, listen, we actually years ago followed your recipe to your meatloaf, and it was super. Except we added one thing. Jack Daniels.
Well, that'll help anything else. we're looking at doing a 3 different types of cheese, 2 different types of mushrooms, meatloaf.
Well, you know what the best part about being Dan VALKOS is when you write a book about recipes, being a psychic, that all these recipes are going to work out perfectly.
Oh yeah, and when people ask if they can put this in a celebrity cookbook for charity, yeah, sure, go right ahead, have fun with it. I don't mind that at all.
Taking a look into the future, Dan.
Okay.
What do you see? We talked about ISIS, we talked about greed, we talked about money. We've talked about the U.S. political scene. What is your psychic impression of what is going to happen in November this year during the presidential election?
It's definitely going to be a close race, but I think we're going to have the first female president of the United States. Though if I'm wrong and Trump gets elected, I mean, look at all the Americans that are going to move to Canada.
Well, I think we should build a wall and send Trump the bill.
No, we want the American tourist dollars.
Well, but just imagine all the Canadian entertainers that are going to be coming home.
Yeah, right. And then they're going to work for 1/3 of what they get in the U.S. I think Mrs. Clinton will be elected, and it's going to be definitely controversial. But my personal opinion is she's more of a statesman than Mr. Trump. But I think as far as on the world political stage, she probably would do a lot better than a President Trump.
All right, stand by, old friend. Dan VALKOS is our guest, X-Zone Nation. Dan and I will be back after the bottom of the hour break. His website is www.danvalkospsychic.com. I'm Rob McConnell. This is the X-Zone, and we're coming to you live and around the world on the X-Zone Broadcast Network, IPBN Radio Network, and TalkStream Live. Don't go away.
You're listening to the X-Zone Broadcast Network, www.xzbn.net. Radio's authority on the world of the paranormal and the science of parapsychology. Celebrating 25 years of broadcasting. Broadcasting around the world and to the great beyond.
President of a new cancer foundation focusing on evidence-based physical, mental, and spiritual interventions, including natural cancer cures, prayer, meditation, affirmations, nutrition, and other related holistic cancer prevention and cure modalities. These are used in cancer education, research, and financing care. I ask for your help to continue this important work by donating at www.holisticcancerfoundation.com.
If you enjoy reading a good mystery with a touch of the paranormal, then you'll love From Out of the Woodwork by William S. Peckham. Sean Kennedy, a Toronto contractor, buys derelict houses, guts them, and turns them into multi-family dwellings. When Sean buys 29 Livery Lane, a century house in ruins, and starts the renovation, the house fights back. He is visited by ghosts of owners past. His visions are triggered by touching an oak mantle, reading a faded letter, opening an old locket, or opening a brand new casket in the basement. These visions will take you on a trip across southern Ontario from Niagara Falls to Toronto to Kingston. From Out of the Woodwork is now available in paperback and on your favorite electronic reader. To order your copy of From Out of the Woodwork, go to www.williamspeckham.com. That's www.williamspeckham.com.
It was a terrifying experience.
I thought we was going to go to jail for murder.
That day, we were a little behind, so we worked until it was starting to get dark.
We loaded up the equipment and hadn't driven very far when we caught glimmers of this glow coming through the trees. I urged Mike to hurry up and get up there.
Travis had the door open before we even stopped. As he got closer, I heard the sound.
One of the guys said, "You feel that?"
I really panicked then.
I told him, "Get the hell out of here."
It didn't come directly to me. It came to the deputy sheriff. 3 of us volunteered right away to tell him what had happened.
Sheriff Gillespie definitely didn't believe it.
He says that we better be certain because we could get in a lot of trouble.
When we went to search the next day, they split us up. And the whole time, the deputies asked me, if you just tell us where the body is, we can all go home and get this over with.
We're talking about 100 people combing through the wooded area. Nothing turns up.
All week long, I've been hearing they're going to set it up to make you guys look guilty.
We're a rough-looking bunch then. Some of us have been in trouble with the law before.
Y'all ain't never going to come out of that jailhouse.
We couldn't get out.
I tried to sneak out the back door the day of the polygraph test. I was scared to death.
On top of that, you have media.
I literally would be on 2 telephones at the same time.
We've even got some coops in here now that's coming in and out to see the freak show, as they call it.
Everyone descends.
I just wasn't going to stand there and listen to it anymore.
Granny says, "This is Travis. I'm back. I need help."
When I did hear that he had been returned, it was almost as unbelievable as the original thing.
I just looked at my mom and says, "I told you we didn't kill him."
Travis Walton reappeared after several days with a bizarre story about a ride in an unidentified flying object.
People were desperate to explain it away. Why are you sticking up with Travis for all this time? You know this really didn't happen.
What happened to Travis after we took off in that truck, I can't tell you.
I hated Travis for a long time after this. My whole world just tore up.
But I believe every word Travis said about it. He's never lied to me about nothing.
It's a net negative. We lost our jobs in the immediate aftermath.
And now you're not able to talk about it with anyone because you know that they're going to laugh at you, they're going to look at you like you're crazy.
But if you don't come out and tell your story, somebody else is going to tell it for you.
There's a degree of responsibility. But certainly I have to accept the bad. If I can direct what's happened in a way that I can make something good happen in the world, I'm looking for it.
Order your copy of Travis, The True Story of Travis Walton, today at www.traviswaltonthemovie.com.
Dan VALKOS is my guest, Exonation, www.danvalkospsychic.com. Dan, dreams, how do they relate to psychic abilities?
Some people will get what we call precognitive flashes or have minor precognitive dreams, to where they'll get bits of insight that flow into the dreams. It's another way for the subconscious to trigger stuff or to pull stuff out of potential future energies into the present where you can look at them, which is an interesting thing. I want to mention something.
Sure.
Listening to the UFO thing, and you've got an interview with Kenneth Arnold coming up later on tonight.
Well, what we're doing is we're playing.
Yeah, you can't have one with him. He's been dead for a while.
Well, exactly. Mind you, on this show, I guess we could get a medium.
Yeah, you could. Yeah. It's a possibility.
Yeah. But no, what we're doing is we're playing the very first radio interview he did.
Okay. You know, he's responsible for the phrase "flying saucers."
Yeah.
Okay, and you know how that happened, don't you?
Yes, when he was watching them, and then he described them later. He said it was like somebody tossing a saucer. Yeah.
Yeah, because he actually said they looked a little bit like flying bananas.
Really?
Arnold was interesting. I was with Dr. J. Allen Hynek for a while.
Yes.
And it was an interesting experience then. But anyway, it should be an interesting radio interview.
Listen, what's your take on flying saucers, Dan?
Extraterrestrial visitors, yeah. Are we visited all the time? More so. Why? Well, some of them could be tourists. Some of them could be just the research scientists seeing how the experiment happened. They could actually be from the future. Time travelers looking back, there's all kinds of possibilities, including they could just be regular, unexplained anomalies that have nothing to do with an extraterrestrial nature at all. But do they happen? Yeah. Do they happen a lot? Yeah. Is it becoming more frequent? Well, I don't know if it's becoming more frequent. It's just more and more people are actually coming out of the woodwork and saying, yes, I saw it. It's, when you've got a credible witness in describing an incredible thing, it adds to the credibility.
Having worked with Dr. Hynek,
yeah.
Do you believe that there is a government conspiracy in place to suppress the information from the public about the existence of UFOs and extraterrestrials?
There was at one time. I'm almost 100% certain. When they started off with Project Grudge and Project Sign way back in the days, before Project Blue Book, it wasn't a question of as opposed to a threat. It was just whether or not it posed a threat to the U.S., to the United States security back in the day. And once they got into the suppression stuff, plausible deniability continues generation after generation. Eventually, all this stuff's going to come out. There's no question about that. You can't keep secrets like this forever, though they're doing a good job of it. They're doing a good job of it. It's going to be interesting in late 2018, 2019. I think you're going to have a very interesting flap that's not going to appear to a cornfield in Iowa or to, a couple fishermen down in southern Georgia. I think you're going to have a flap either in New York or Washington that's not going to be explained. It's something that's coming, like I said, early 2018, 2019. That might be the precursor where they actually land and go, Gort, Klaatu, Barada, Nikto. And everybody out there should know what that is.
Of course, that's from, let me see, what was the name of the movie? That's right,
still.
With Michael Rennie, right?
Yeah, best UFO, the best one ever.
It is. It is. They don't make them like that anymore. In fact,
no.
Laura and I went to see Independence Day Resurgence. It was good, but not as good as Independence Day. They should have just left it the way it was.
Yeah, well, I'm waiting for it to come to video.
Yeah, well, you're not going to miss much, my friend. You're not going to miss much.
During one of the breaks, you were talking about the haunted houses, and we live in a 185-year-old farmhouse that one of the original owners, not the original owners, but one of the owners were escaped slaves, because I live at the end of the Underground Railroad.
Right.
And my wife was saying about 6 months after we moved in here, the first time she was cooking fried chicken, she actually felt as if the house approved of the way she was cooking fried chicken. She thought it was kind of cool.
Why do some houses remain haunted and others never see the light of day of a ghost or a spirit?
It all depends on the type of haunting. The vast majority of all hauntings are what we call pictures of the past manifesting into the present, or scenes from yesterday being rerun and replayed today, sort of like time loops from the past. If you generate enough energy on the etheric fabric of time, somebody can walk into a room and see, let's say, two of us sitting here talking and think they're seeing a pair of ghosts when actually they're just seeing the past. John Kennedy and Abraham Lincoln in the U.S. White House are classic examples of this, or Anne Boleyn in the Tower of London. These spirits are not damned for all time to haunt an area. It's just you're seeing an image from the past. And some houses will carry a greater energy field. It might just be they're on minor ley lines. There's all kinds of theories behind it. Some people are just dull and boring, so they don't leave too much of energy in their home.
You're the perfect person to ask this following question. Why are most pubs, bars, restaurants, and hotels haunted?
Because of demon drink and all the other good. The energy there. The energy there. Yeah, most of it's the past. Because a lot of times, when you think of somebody in a pub, they think of everybody gaily dancing and singing and drinking themselves into oblivion. But if you walk into a lot of places, you're just seeing a lot of sad, lonely, morose individuals trying to drown their sorrows. That in itself is going to really generate a lot of etheric energy.
Yeah, it sounds like the local pub near the radio station.
Yeah. Remember years ago when you used to do the martini bar?
Oh my gosh, what was that? The Olive?
I thought I remember it was called something about a martini bar. I just remember we did a couple shows there, and that had some residue negative energy in that place.
Well, that's because it was the old courthouse.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's
right.
Was. Yeah.
That was a great place. They served great food, and the martinis were to die for.
Yeah. I don't drink alcohol, but I remember it was a good hamburger.
Yeah.
That I remember. I got a good hamburger there.
Certainly was. Many people who we've had on the show who investigate the paranormal say that ghosts don't know they're dead. Some ghosts don't know they're dead, and I have a problem with that, Dan.
No. Maybe, okay, if you take 100 valid hauntings, I'm talking about the actual valid hauntings, you've got maybe, let's say, 65% of them are basically, like I said, pictures of the past with his
residual,
nothing to do with the spirit. They're just residual energy.
Right.
Another 20 of those are what we call single incident or limited incident hauntings, which are family members just showing up to let them know that everything is okay. You wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning, Grandma's standing at the foot of your bed, and she says, "I love you, baby," and then you realize your grandma's just died. It's a valid haunting, but that's like a single incident or a limited incident haunting. Another 5 to 10 of these of this 100 are what we call ghosts of living persons or subconscious astral projections, where somebody might astrally project to a place where they lived as a child because it was security in their home and their life's miserable now. They may materialize subconsciously in their childhood bedroom, which is now occupied by 11-year-old Timmy, who all of a sudden sees this glowing object and it just freaks the peanuts out of his M&Ms and other things out of his shorts. So, that does it. Of the actual people who are haunting an area, let's just say 10 out of 100 are actual haunting. 7 of these know they're dead. They don't care. They're not going anywhere. They also, some of them will be hanging around where they died because of the fear of an afterlife reprisal. If, let's say, you did something that you think you're going to be condemned to hell for all eternity and you're dead, let's say you commit suicide. You might just hang around where you hung yourself. Bad joke. Didn't mean it. You may just, so to stay where you had taken your own life because you figure if you go anywhere, you're going to be hot and toasty. If you sometimes, let's say, die suddenly or violently or unexpectedly, you may not know the fact that you're dead. You just think you're crazy because you can see people, you can hear people, but they can't see or hear you. You just think that you're just a little bit wacko. But that's just a small percentage. Out of every 100 hauntings, I'd say maybe 2 or 3 are not aware of the fact that they're dead.
Well, if that ever happened to me, I would go to the local washroom and look in a mirror. If I couldn't see myself, hey, Rob, you're dead. Have fun.
Yeah, and going, something getting a little warm in here, isn't it?
Exactly.
until you realize that if you find yourself in your own personal concept of hell, then you realize the exit signs are clearly marked.
Exactly. You see, my idea of hell is what we're living here on Earth. Our day-to-day life, in my opinion, is hell. We're just getting ready to go to something greater and better.
We're climbing our way out of hell. Each lifetime is a classroom. We're learning, we're growing, and we're evolving.
How significant is a person's religious philosophy or the religious beliefs when it comes to their concept of the paranormal?
It all depends. It all depends on the type of religion. Some Catholics, there's not a problem with that at all. Some Lutheran ministers, if you get into the Judeo-Christians, it all depends. I mean, if you get into the fundamental Baptists, well, they think Catholics are going to hell. It's the old joke of the one Baptist minister had died, and he's walking around in heaven with St. Peter, and they come into this huge walled-in area, and he says to St. Peter, what's on the other side of the wall? And he goes, shh, that's where all the Catholics are. They think they're the only ones here. I mean, you can put any religious group in there at all. You've got Hebrew mysticism. You've got the Sufis in some of the East Indian cultures. Sufi is I'm not sure. I can't remember what the Sufis are, and I don't want to embarrass myself by saying something that's wrong because I very rarely say anything that's wrong.
That is true. In fact, I'm going to call Guinness right after the show and say he forgot something.
Oh, God forbid. Well, it's been I've been off the pain medication a little while. I'm doing a lot better, though.
What's your take on angels? Are they real? Are they messengers? Or are they a preconceived idea of what people would like to have come down and intervene? Or are they just mind over matter?
If spirit guides and guardian angels are synonymous, and in my opinion they are, these are individuals that may have loved you when they were alive or maybe in a prior lifetime, and they're just there as a positive enforcement tool. Is it like Michael and Gabriel and stuff? I don't know. I'll be reserved on that one.
Once again, that's religious dogma.
Yeah, and it's whatever. I mean, whatever. See, I also firmly believe that you've got the God-given right to believe in whatever you want, however you want, whoever you want, if ever you want, why ever you want. You just don't have the right to force your own specific belief upon another individual. You respect all religious beliefs. You respect all religious ideologies, as long as it doesn't include blowing you up if you don't, follow their path.
Exactly. Even in the Islamic faith, there is the jinn, which is the negative side of their spirituality.
Yeah. Those are the evil spirits of some sort.
Yeah. Is it possible?
Not like Barbara Eden.
No. Oh my gosh! Hey, speaking about celebrities, yesterday Madame Cleo died.
Really?
Yep.
I hadn't heard that.
Let me see here. I've got the news report here. The actress who became famous playing the Jamaican psychic Miss Cleo, claiming to know callers' futures in ambiguous TV commercials and ads 15 years ago, died of cancer. Yuri Del Harris, 53, died in Palm Beach, her lawyer William Cohn said. The Los Angeles-born Harris was a struggling actress when the Psychic Readers Network hired her in the late 1990s to play Miss Cleo. She adopted her family's Jamaican heritage for the role, persuading viewers to call for allegedly free psychic readings. In one commercial, she is seen poring over tarot cards before telling a caller that the father of her baby is the one who is very unpleasant and had another girlfriend while he was sleeping with you. But you knew that. The commercial's tagline was always, "Call me now." Here's something interesting. The federal government said those free calls cost consumers about $1 billion U.S. The federal,
I can believe it. The 900 lines.
Yeah, the Federal Trade Commission.
I got a real problem with them.
Yeah, so do I. The Federal Trade Commission said the psychic service promised a free reading, but consumers calling a toll-free number were directed to a 900 number, charging $4.99 per minute.
Yep.
Yeah, the agency said that nearly 6 million people made such calls and were charged an average of $60 apiece. Wow.
And then one of the things that was set up is CRTC had a time limit originally here in Canada, and they said that a call couldn't go more than 50 minutes, $50. Well, what the psychic on those 900 lines would say, all right, I've got more stuff to tell you. Hang up, call me back, and I'll give you more information. And it's praying. Folks, the best psychic in the world you can ever go to is yourself. If you simply listen to that still small voice within. You trust your instincts, you trust your own gut hunches, and you'll do just fine. If you want to go to a psychic, you go see somebody who's there just to give you some advice, guidance, insight, and direction. And you go with word of mouth. There's an advertising axiom which states that
there's one born every minute.
No, if you do a good job on one person, they'll tell one person. If you do a bad job on one person, they'll tell 10 people. If you live in your area and there's an individual who's a local psychic and they've got a pretty good reputation, well, yeah, go see them and see what they say. If they want you to come back weekly or monthly, they're running a con. If they tell you that there's evil influences around you and for $29.99 they can remove it or what? No, that's what I was doing. We were doing $29.99 first curse, second curse, 1 cent, $10 off with in-store coupon. Well, yeah, I wanted to put a billboard up years ago, but my executive board wouldn't let me do that. I thought it was going to be right next to one of these Madame Wanda type billboards. I thought it would have been pretty cool, but my executive board was made up of women who never let me have any fun. There's no such thing as curses, folks. If you believe you're cursed, you're going to create negative energy to yourself, and if you believe you're blessed, you're going to create positive energy.
Dan, stand by. We've got to take our final break. Exo Nation, the one and only Dan VALKOS is our special guest this hour. www.danvalkospsychic.com, and Dan and I return on the other side of this break as we wrap up this hour here in the X Zone. Coming up next, we have Douglas DeLong from the Ancient Mystery School joining us in Saskatchewan, and then in our final hour, Kevin Randall and Charles Stansberg talking about UFOs. I'm Rob McConnell. This is the X Zone. Don't go away.
Rob McConnell here, presenting an overview for Nicholas Paul Jennings, author of a fascinating book, Amen. It presents facts revealed by Egyptologists, facts that enable us to understand why Amen is the beginning of creation of God. It provides recommendations for religious leaders of the major religions to unify their beliefs and teach the Word of God. Love one another. Amen informs people how mankind conceived God. It was the Egyptians that developed the concepts of a soul, a hereafter, and Son of God. And finally, after the worship of many gods, they conceived the belief in one universal God, the maker of all there is. For more information, visit www.futureofgodamen.com. That's www.futureofgodamen.com. Did you know that when you're on the road with limited data or Wi-Fi, you can still listen to the X-Zone radio show with Rob McConnell, The Science of Magic with Gwilda Wiyaka, X-1, Dimension X, Space Patrol, and every minute of the X-Zone broadcast network by calling 213-401-0080, courtesy of Audio Now. No smartphone, app, or internet needed. It saves your data plan, and it's free if you have unlimited minutes. Call 213-401-0080 to listen on any phone, anytime, anywhere. Remember, 213-401-0080 for the best of the paranormal, parapsychology, and sci-fi radio programming anywhere, 24/7, 365. Gibbs A. Williams, Ph.D., is a practicing psychoanalyst, supervisor, researcher, and author in New York City. Much of his life has been dedicated to understanding nature and the uses of meaningful coincidences or synchronicities. His radical and original non-Jungian, non-mystical, non-magical theory of synchronicities illuminates much of the fog surrounding this challenging and perplexing topic. His ideas and manners are fresh, presented in a style that is both entertaining and highly informative. He is also an expert on crisis intervention, specially focused on violence reduction for the police and citizens, mastering anxiety, frustration, and stress without the use of medication, and effectively preventing and treating heroin addiction. Dr. Williams can be contacted at his email address at gwwilliamsny11@aol.com or visit his website at www.drgibbswilliams.com.
The scientist and the mystic have been on an age-old, relentless search with one thing in common. They seek truth. Their paths converge in the 40,000-year-old practice of shamanism, an ancient science delving to the quantum level of life, facilitating healing, manifestation, and evolution. I'm Gwilda Wiyaka, the founder and director of Path Home Shamanic Arts School, a unique Colorado State certified occupational school training shamanic practitioners and teachers. We also provide classes for empowering personal lives through shamanism. Our certification classes are in week-long segments enabling international participation, and online classes and long-distance shamanic healing sessions are available. Come discover the science of magic in the limitless world of shamanism. www.findyourpathhome.com.
Dan VALKOS is our guest this hour, Exonation, www.danvalkospsychic.com. And Dan, it's always great talking to you, my friend. Like I said, my thoughts and my prayers are with you for a speedy recovery with all the replacement that you're getting done. What is it?
I just can't wait to go through airport security. I just can't wait. I got a new shoulder, 2 new knees. I'll be getting a new left shoulder next year. And then let's see what the bells and whistles do.
Yeah, you know, and they say being a psychic isn't hard on you.
Yeah, well, it's when I was young and stupid and did stupid stuff. It's come back to bite me in the fanny now.
Dan, what are your final thoughts and words of wisdom for the X-Zone Nation tonight?
Always make sure there's paper before you sit down and go to the washroom.
That was very prophetic, and I want to thank you so much.
guys, life is a treasure. Life is a joy. There's darkness, there's sadness out there. Don't dwell on the darkness. Don't dwell on the sadness. Dwell on the light. Dwell on the joy.
Mm-hmm.
Dwell on the fact of a person that you love and that loves you back, smiles at you. If you've got a pet, your dog or your cat wags her tail. Well, the cat wags her tail. The cat's getting ready to claw you. But just the love that you get from your animals, the sunrises, the sunsets, the realization that this is a gift. Treasure each gift. Enjoy each day for today. Worry about tomorrow when tomorrow gets here.
Tell me, Dan, do you believe in reincarnation?
Oh, God, yeah. We've lived hundreds of lifetimes. This is a classroom, and we're here to learn and grow and evolve. When you're dead, that's summer vacation. When you're partying down and having a good old time, when you want to come back to school, you take on another life.
But what's the end result? What are we striving for?
Working our way back to God. How about this, gang? How about we got our asses kicked out of heaven? We are the fallen angels, and we're working our way back slowly and steadily.
So what we're doing is we're back in boot camp.
Yeah, screwed up again.
Onward, Christian soldiers.
Indeed. Robbie, old friend, it's been a pleasure doing the show with you again. We got to do this again sometime.
Anytime, my friend. I'll have to come up and see you. We'll have to go out and have a good lunch and share some good chuckles.
If I'm teaching the class down at Niagara, I'll get there the night before and we'll do dinner.
Sounds like a plan, my friend. Let our listeners know how they can contact you, Dan, if they'd like to contact you for a one-on-one reading.
They can email me at dvalkos@hotmail.com.
Or you can visit his website at www.danvalkospsychic.com. Dan, take care of yourself. Be safe, my good friend.
I shall, and you take care, and we'll talk to each other soon.
You bet. Exo Nation, Dan Valkos has been my guest. Once again, his website is danvalkospsychic.com, and that's DANVALKOS psychic.com. When I come back from the news at the bottom of the hour, we're going to be talking to Doug DeLong about reincarnation and other topics that he teaches in his mystery school in Saskatoon, Saskatchewan. This is the X Zone. I am Rob McConnell, and we'll be back as we continue investigating the world of the paranormal and the science of parapsychology from our broadcast center in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. Don't go away.